Good morning. Welcome to worship this day, this beautiful day that the Lord has given us. It is good to gather together as God's church to offer our worship and praises to God on this day. There are a couple of different announcements for the good of our shared life together. The first is that we're experimenting a little bit with Matt singing live for us today. So if there's still a little bit of, it's still a work in progress.
Yes. So I won't get to say God bless in the middle of a song. Yeah.
That's absolutely right.
There you go. But you'll hear me breathe heavier.
So bear with us as we continue to experiment in this environment that we continue to be in as we continue to seek to protect the safety of us all. Related to that, if the song is familiar to you, I invite you to move along, to bob your head along, but we're still being very, very cautious about singing corporately. So we're going to leave the singing, this is kind of fun to say, to the professional.
You leave the singing to me?
Yeah.
Is that it? Oh my gosh. Well, that's because, look, there's nobody in front of me, right?
That's
and
right.
They said that aerosol without the mask goes 18 to 20 feet, and I'm singing with the mask on with a filter. So I don't think anybody, even the Kurzweil, has anything to worry about catching it if I had it. So, which I don't, but we're good.
We continue to do what we can in our community. One of the events coming up is our annual, what has been a long tradition, trunk or treat. We're changing that a little bit this year to doing a drive-through trick or treat. So Jeff Main has absolutely worked his tail off to make sure that that is as safe as it can possibly be. If you would like to volunteer for that event, there continues to be a sign-up genius available to help for that event as we welcome people from the community in to receive a little bit of sweetness and joy in these challenging times. In addition to the continual celebration of what it means to be good and faithful followers of Jesus, we're going to lift up those important milestones along the way. One of those milestones we happen to acknowledge today with the pending birth of baby Bookert. So an email went out earlier in the week that kind of detailed how we're going to go about that, but we're going to try and gather as safely as we can with cake and punch to go, or to try and make sure that we are continuing to keep one another safe in these times. So again, join with us to celebrate the pending arrival of baby Bookert. The last inclusion that you'll notice in addition to communion in your trays this morning are printed off copies of our stewardship pledge forms, along with individual pins if perhaps you do not want to fill those forms out online, or if for whatever reason you don't have those forms with you today. There are a couple of different ways that we can commit to the future that God has in store for us in 2020. Can you come here a minute? Yeah. Do you want to help me with these final announcements? Examples of what those tithing forms look like are very poorly represented on your screen. But nevertheless, this is how we begin planning for the year to come in 2021. Again, it is good to gather together as God's church. So let us continue our worship together this morning by gathering around the light of the world, symbolized by lighting the candles that are upon our table. Can you help me with that? Here we go. Ready? How about that? Yeah.
I feed in pastures green. God grants me rest and bids me drink from waters calm and clean. Through daily tasks. I'm blessed and led by one I have not seen. When I must pass through shadowed vale where loss and death await, I will not fear, for God is there, my shepherd strong and great, whose rod and staff will comfort me, and all my fears abate. Goodness and mercy all my days will surely follow me, and where God reigns in heaven, earth, my dwelling place will be. My shepherd blesses, cares, and leads through all eternity.